Let's ask you whether you can give us some transparency in some of the monies that have been put in your care. Yeah. Some dollars were being donated, were being given to the Labour Party campaign in donations for that election. What about the ones that? Which one are you aware of?
The one I'm aware of is the Obidati campaign. That I was one of the signatories.
How much went into that account?
I think we got about 560 something million, if you want me.
Dollars.
Million naira. Please, I'm looking for those dollars.
No, because we thought that there were foreign donations. The money that came out.
Even me, I'm looking for the foreign donations. Whatever they are.
Did Mr. Obi tell you about that?
I don't know whatever Mr. Peter Obi did or did not do. I know of the campaign that I was.
And you were a signatory to
its accounts. There are, I think we had four bank accounts. You understand, that are out there that were put together. And if you want me, I can bring up the papers and then we go through the figures exactly, the way they were. So this and the last time when we did, I think it was it January or February when we did a public, statement, putting out the accounting of the statement of account. One of the things that Mr. Peter Obi did say was that for those who said there were millions of dollars that were donated to us, please let them come and show us where these donations are. We would like to get them. I'm interested in getting those billions, because elections will come on again and we need those monies that people have donated. But what I can tell you is that from the accounts that we sourced for funds from people, what we got was, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 560 something million naira. And then Mr. Peter Obi himself brought in 800 million naira, which was towards we needed to pay for the polling unit agents and all of that. So all of these things I don't know. And every one of those kobo was accounted. And I'm going to tell you a very funny story, you understand. Sheon, one of the things that I'm very big on process. And you will hate me sometimes if you're on my team, because I insist if this is the way things have to be done, no matter how you want it to be done in another way, I'm not going to allow it. And so every kobo that entered that account, there was never a time that cash was taken out of that. Everything is transfer. And then people can check, and I'm sure they've already checked and rechecked, investigative journalists, the government and whatever, to see where every money went to. On the day of our election, where we had about 1.something billion, that I was the one in charge of polling unit agents, because that has come up a lot. People have spoken about polling unit agents. And on the day of election, the bank where we had the money sent in someone to my house, where we worked out on how to rejig the balance, the limit that I have, for that day. And part of the things that while we're checking it, he said to me, transfer 1,000. So let's see, transfer it to your account, you understand? And let's see whether it's working. I said to him, no. I'm not going to transfer anything to my account. How will it look like that? You transfer money from campaign money. He said, no, but it's just 1,000 and we'll test. I said, no, it's not just 1,000. It's a process. And I said to him, a lot of people who are accused of corruption, most times they don't take money. It's by subverting that process that you find yourself in that way. Imagine, for example, if Aisha had even done that. The next thing, Aisha carried money, whatever. And so those are little things that I'm very, very particular about. And nothing was that. And every money that was transferred from that account, you could see where it came from. And I'll tell you something. There were people who actually reported me to Mr. Peter Obi because I refused to collect money from anybody. There were people who called me, Aisha, we trust you. We know your money is not going to get missing. Let's donate the campaign let's give you some of the money, before even Peter Obi had set up his account for donation. And I can say this to you, it took Peter Obi a lot before he agreed to set up that campaign. I said there was a time I even called him that, like, look, Labour Party that are running their mouth now, I saw Aburi ate food, he belly food, saying Aisha Yesufu moi. Now they call the name. I don't do little money. If I steal your $1 million, what will it buy me? 3 bags? 3 handbags? Is that what I'm stealing $1 million for? It will not buy me. There are some rings it will not buy for me. So for some of them that feel these monies are big monies and they are running their mouth, what they forget is that the Labour Party had their own account and they even started soliciting money from the public before we did. And I remember going to Peter Obi and I was like, you see, now we ought to have started our account and everything. It took a long time. We finally did it. Before we got those accounts, people that came to me, Aisha, no, we give. I said no. Until we set up an account, I'm not collecting anything. I'm not going to collect anybody's cash. I'm not going to help anybody to do anything. Every money that came went to the account. There is someone who even gave us, during the campaign, gave us aircraft one or two, I think an 80 or 100 and something seater while we're doing that whole campaign. He had seen me and he gave me an envelope. He was giving me, I refused to collect it. He dropped it on the table, went to say, I picked that envelope, I went back to him and I dropped it. You understand? And he was very angry, although that I'm disgracing. I said, no, it's my policy. I don't collect money from nobody. I don't. The only person I collect money from is my husband. No? And anything that is beyond his whatever, beyond his means or my means, I come out from it. Just wait. I have to round up this thing for you. And so he now said he was going to report me to Peter Obi. And indeed, when he saw Mr. Peter Obi, he reported me that, he gave me money. I refused to collect. Mr. Peter Obi, that's how Aisha is. So you see, like I told you earlier, I have a big mouth. And the big mouth is very physical and very figuratively. And because I want to use my big mouth, I don't collect nobody's money.
But are you also willing, because they said that the EFCC should probe you?
I've asked the EFCC. Look, the other time I said to them, I even reminded them, because after a month, they talk, and I even reminded them that Labour Party, please, you said EFCC should probe. Have you sent petition to them? Because more Aisha Yesufu, I want EFCC to come. I've tagged EFCC several times. There's this thing in Nigeria where they do things because there are skeletons in cupboard. Me, I don't get skeleton for cupboard because my mouth too big. I go use my phone on top of myself. If there's anything, let everybody bring it out. I want to, because I want people to understand that you can do something and yes, they will smear you, but the smears, they will not stick anywhere.
You can say for yourself, but you can't say for Mr. Peter Obi.
I'm speaking for myself.
So, but you can't say for Mr. Peter Obi or any other person you work for.
For Mr. Peter Obi right
the
now?
Question I'm asking, because you said you work with him.
Hold on. Am I doing interview for Mr. Peter Obi right now? I doing interview?
You said you work with him.
Am I doing interview for Mr. Peter Obi right now?
But you just said on this interview that you work with. If you don't answer my question,
we'll not continue.
No, you are having an interview with me. But the question is,
I will get to your question.
Aisha Yesufu.
Exactly.
But Aisha Yesufu says she worked with Peter Obi.
Okay. And I told you I worked with Peter Obi, and that was why I took care of a particular campaign, the campaign donation accounts for the public that he did. I was one of the signatories, and Peter Obi was not even a signatory. Peter Obi did not have any say on the monies that came in from the public. The only say he had was on the 800 million naira that he brought, and when he asked for them to be used, so they used it in legal fee in giving the parties to settle polling unit agents, they did that. I've taken responsibility for that. What else do I need to take responsibility? I'm not taking responsibility for anything. And Peter Obi himself, like I said to you earlier, had come out to say to these people, can you please tell us where these monies are coming from? And I think the person you are referring to, I saw some people who said to me that Aisha Yesufu, you should sue them for defamation. And I say, if I sue them, what will I get? Poverty? I need somebody with real money. God born anybody will be billionaire for Nigeria. Let them come out and say that Aisha took any this. Then I will go to court. So that I know when the court case is finished, I will collect some money in their damages. Not the one that I'm going to go and spend millions of naira, spend 15 to 20 or 30 million naira on lawyers to carry you to court, and then you come and tell me that the whole of your worth is not up to 6 million naira. So that's what I'm waiting for. So there are accusations that I don't have any problem with accusation. There was something I wanted to say. You almost derailed me, and this is it. Most Nigerians feel that the only way you can show that you are clean or you're not like that is to stay away from anything and not do anything. I'm like, no. I will go in there. I will do it. And you will try to accuse me, you smear me. It cannot stick anywhere because I will follow the process, transparency, accountability. Everything has to be followed. Even Peter Obi himself, that had 800 million naira in that account, he knew that if he didn't follow the process that we had laid down for him to get the money, he was not going to get it. We had this thing, he has to call, verbal instruction, written instruction. There were times that he forgot one, he did the other one, he's on his own. Okay, when you tire finish, you will come back, because you know what? Process has to be followed. And I know a lot of Nigerians, don't understand what processing is. But there's a question you've not asked. Let me help you in answering it, even though you've not asked. There are people who have come to, we have a summary of the
account.
Let me bring out that summary, right? Because so that we will.
You had it handy.
It's public now. If you go to my Twitter page and put it there, it's not something that I'm saying that it's not hidden. The account is not hidden. I've seen people who said, you don't have how many pages, whatever. The pages of account we gave them we handed it over to the person whose accounts we're managing, to the people we're managing their account, both pure and dirty. And then there's a summarized version, that was put out there for the public. So we have what the what do you call it, summarized version that we put there. Citizens' donation was 595,976,994 naira. That's what the citizens' donation that we got. And then 800 million naira was part of the things, that came in from Mr. Peter Obi. So the total was 1,395,976,994 naira. That was the total. And then we had expenses. We had campaign materials. We used 268,374,330 naira. Media and radio broadcasting, we used 16,422,867 naira. So what we did with the media, we're very focused. We didn't have huge pocket like other people. So we didn't focus on a TV adverts and go whatever. We did radios across the country. Bank charges, 1,750,544 naira. Administrative expenses, 475,000. Legal expenses, 744,500,000. And then you had campaign and election activities, 28,500,000. But there's one I kept aside, which is the polling unit agents expenses. We had 324,381,700 naira. I'm going to come to you on this. With the polling unit agents, when we did, I told you, remember I told you that on the day of polling unit agent, the bank had sent someone to my house to help me with this thing. Aisha Yesufu, I was the one that was in charge of polling unit agent payment for Peter Obi. The money we had budgeted about, our budget was like 1.4. We had about 130 something thousand polling unit agent, 1.4. On the day of election, we started with the payment. We had started giving. So before then, was it that money before then, when Labour Party finally gave us the list, because we kept insisting, give us the list, I didn't get it. We got it at less than 24 hours or 48 hours to election. And so when we got it, we sent messages to all the Labour Party agents and said, send in your account number. So account numbers came in. And then we started paying on the morning of the day of election. While we're paying, something was off. Remember, people were saying they were not seeing agents in this thing, something was, and so we decided to do a test run of calling different this thing. You call a number, maybe it's a male, female pigs, or it's a female and male pigs, and like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? This thing. So Anna said, okay, you know what? Stop all payments. Yeah, I made that decision. And anybody want to say anything, I don't even care. So I go on. I kept receiving, the normal this thing they do. They say, oh, you're supposed to send 200 million to this, 400 million to that, this million to this, that they pay polling unit agents. I say, no, we are paying the polling unit agents. And I say, how? I say, by directly through their accounts. We will pay them directly. Remember that election was when there was even that no cash, whatever. I said, so we'll do the transfer. That was even the first time that I knew that there was a bank's microfinance, whatever, or financial this thing that you could just use the person's phone number to open accounts and send them in. So there was a lot. If courts can kill somebody, I would have died on election day. Because the different this thing that, as one time my husband came to me and said, baby, are you sure these people will not say, let them not need to not happen? They say it's because if I say whatever they will say, let them say. Because I've seen there are no polling units. So what we had was that the list that was given, the names that had been given before were swapped.
And were populated with
fictitious names. And I'm saying this, and they've heard it, and I've said it before, they had fictitious names.
And this was coming from the Labour Party national headquarters.
From the Labour Party. I don't know whether it's the national headquarters or whatever headquarters, the Labour Party itself. And so, I said, no. We're not going to pay. Towards that, I couldn't reach Peter Obi. It was towards around evening, or maybe around 4 something, that Peter Obi called me on election day. I said, sir, see what's going on. The list that we're giving, it's mostly fictitious. Apparently what they need, what I wanted, they've done that to other parties also. Even with these elections that have been going on, this is what parties do. So they always tell you that, oh, you're not supposed to ask questions. And I was told that, oh, but we don't ask questions. You just said, I said, no, we want to build a new Nigeria. Not the Nigeria where you just send money anyhow. This is someone's hard-earned money that he's bringing in for us to pay polling unit agent. And so when I spoke to him, he said, Aisha, I say, don't worry, keep my money. And so that's why you will see from this list that we have 324,381,700 that was paid to polling unit agents. The one that we directly paid was around 20 something. I think it was at 24 million. And I've seen a lot of people who have come out to say that, oh, you only paid, I think 2,000 something. I can't remember how many. I think that was 2,800 agents have you? Oh, you pay 2,000 agents with 300 and something million. That means it's like, no. What then happened before, because I stopped the payment, and I'll give you an example. We were in a meeting where we're talking about all of these things. And then someone said to me, Aisha, how did you think that you will stay in Abuja and you are able to coordinate the agent that is in Sokoto? I said, through his phone number. Because remember, INEC gave everything. Everybody's name had to come with phone number, pictures and all of that. And the person was quiet. And then he now said to me, Aisha, some of these agents cannot read and write. And I said, if the agents cannot read and write, how did they become our polling unit agents? There was silence. I have a big mouth because I insist on doing the right thing. In the year 2000, what was it called? NYC overpaid me with about 8,000 something. 8,000 was big money. I returned that money. Even when NYC didn't want me to, I have the letter that I wrote and gave them. I kept my comment. Unfortunately, I didn't give them to that signing. I didn't realize I should have done that. They fought me. Everybody called me all sorts of names. I returned it. That's how many years ago? 24 years ago when I did my youth service. And so if at that time I had taken that money, you think I will have mouth to talk today? I have mouth to talk today because I know I follow process. So when we did that, so what now happened? With this 300 million that people are saying, when the election was done and everything, they were talking, okay, polling unit agent, the parties were saying this. Peter Obi now decided he was going to send to the different, this party, states, whatever. We sent those funds. That's what we spent. I think it was about 300 million. Yeah, I think that's 300 and something, 300 million that was sent to all of them to say, okay, settle the agents that did this thing. And so that was it. So some people that come out to say, oh, they only pay 2,000 with it. No, it's not. And so for me, every dime that I'm under, and remember, this is not my first time of being in a campaign, this thing. I was of Dr. Obi Ezekwesili. And we came out and we gave everything. When I did the one of Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, she wasn't a signatory. And we accounted for every dime. The same thing with Peter Obi. Peter Obi was not a signatory to that account that was collected. We accounted for every dime. I know Nigerians are not used to it. They are looking for people who are looking for millions from some politicians. Say, what's happened? But Mr. Peter Obi, 1 naira has never exchanged hands between me and him.